go, here we go. Okay. We are live. We're just gonna do a couple things. Okay, so I want to make sure we're all good. So give me a second, guys. Okay, so it looks like we're good. Okay, cool. Okay, so So it's so weird. This new software that I have, it doesn't show up even though it's running. So it's really weird. But it is running. So thank you for the follow. I'm glad so this new program makes it a lot smoother for all my notifications going off. So that is one nice thing about it. So I am happy about that. So we're gonna dive into pixels and so we're gonna go off the AMA from earlier. And we're going to kind of compound on what's going on. I did miss the tail end because we did pick up a new car today. So I did not get a chance to see the tail end of the questions, but I did get the first 45 minutes. What's up? Potentiano. So with pixels and where it's kind of going, I believe Luke has. I mean, and I reiterate this on a give me 1 second, on a daily basis and a weekly basis. Luke and his team have good ideas, good thoughts, but sometimes they don't put them out in the best way that they mean it, and it just goes south. I believe they have all the good intentions in the world behind on what they're doing. They just sometimes do it wrong, or it's too bot manipulated, or it doesn't go exactly how it plans. But that's the whole purpose. Luke today kind of touched base on it. It's a startup company. You can't expect everything to be perfect. They're gonna make mistakes, but you have to learn from those mistakes really fast, and you have to move on. Now, I will say, I personally believe Luke may talk a little bit too much about certain timelines. Even though he says he stops giving them, he keeps giving them. I think he should stop doing that. All in all, I think it's hurting Pixels. I think it's getting people mad because they're so focused on, oh my god, this is coming out soon. And then it doesn't come out, and then you get frustrated and you get mad. This is, I believe, its second year. For a game of this caliber, and especially in a new bracket of game, yes, I can do that. So, with this new, basically, industry of gaming and how he wants to portray it, it's the second year in Pixels. So this is kind of, you're still on the runway waiting to take off, and they're not quite there yet. So I think it's really going to be another year and a half before it's polished. Now, hopefully in that year and a half, I turned it up. Let me see. Oh, it sounds pretty loud on my end. So I lost my train of thought. So being as he's still on the runway, hopefully they can start taking off before people start losing interest. And there's enough to the game that keeps people engaged. As for me, I'm not as fully engaged as I was in Chapter 1. Not to say that I've lost interest. I still use my energy. I still log on daily for my 6 hours energy. I still attend the energy parties. I still listen to everything because I still am interested, and I still believe this game has a lot of potential. Gosh, I'm being sent. So, with that being said, I'm not going to sign out just because this is a part of the game that I don't feel is up to par. I think a lot of things have gone wrong, but I believe that the team is correcting them as quickly as possible. Now, we're going to get into a couple of my insights where I think they plan on going with this. Gosh. So, I believe sorry, I get distracted very easily. I have ADHD like you would not believe. So, anyways. But it's not like, yeah. I would agree and disagree at the same time. So, you can see the coins I have up here. It's 2.5, 2.6 million almost. And all of these chests are full, right? I don't have any chests that are not full of items. Because I literally keep a supply of chests for that. Sorry. So, with that being said, I will show you a couple of things. So this is all silk, okay? Now, anything that is one coin, I do not sell. I will literally... So I stopped making chests because making chests are negative profit. Buy the chests, okay? Store the one gold item and have 1 billion of them. I am actually starting to buy up a lot of wax, as you can see. I bought like 3-4 chests worth today. I'll probably buy some tomorrow. I get bored sitting in the market buying stuff. So wax is one of those things where I think there's going to be a lot more utility for it. There's not so much right now, but any one coin items, buy up, in my personal opinion, because Luke likes hinting stuff in a way where it's not hinting stuff. So if you do a deep dive on what it's kind of getting to, you can kind of see where he's going with things. So they keep kind of hinting with the guild task board, pushing it out, getting rid of certain items, trying to make it so he can mass get rid of 1 billion items. If I pause, it's because I'm texting or replying to people. So please forgive me. I can multitask, but only in games. I can't talk and type because then I talk when I type. So with that being said, okay, we're just going to go here real quick because this is a simple tool to kind of see where we're going. So wax is still 1 coin, right? You get it sometimes from harvesting honey, which honey I do nonstop. I made 600,000 today from collecting honey from today and yesterday. So, and that is literally pure profit. I do have a list. I will put it down below after I'm all done. So that way you guys, if you want to get your honey, you can grab it. It's amazing profit via energy. And then Silk Slug Slime, if you want to kind of get that risk factor, that's another great one. I have 2 lands for that I use. But those are really the only 2 things that I farm and sell. Everything else, I stockpile. I never get rid of. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. So I have 4 sections of the house, and I am prepared to grow them out indefinitely. So we have in the top left-hand corner is all the ores. As you can see, that is the most because that's what I'm working on right now. And then I'll be doing metalworking and stone shaping once I'm done with my mining levels. But I still have quite a ways to get there. So more than likely, this is going to be jammed packed, and I will be taking most of it outside and start stocking outside. I will not sell it until Luke fixes how he wants to fix it, and I'll go into that after I kind of give a quick rundown of what I'm doing and what I'm preparing for. So then we have in the top right, we have all my lumber stuff. As you can see, I'm level 70 in both of those, so I'm not really expanding that so much. I mean, I have 4 chests full of level 4 planks. That alone is like 3 million. What's up, Dominic? Welcome. And then in the lower left-hand corner is all my food. Not food per se. It's my crops. Again, I haven't really touched that. And then over here is my eggs, silk, and honey and wax. So I kind of have it set off. You got 2 more rooms up here that when gem cutting comes available and exploration, if there's something that needs to be done there, they'll go up there. So with that being said, I know you, I know, I just noticed that you guys can't see my level. I looked over and saw that you can't see it. So let's move this down a little bit. So let's see. Okay. So as you can see, my levels, I pulled my stuff down a little bit. Pretty much, I'm trying to get everything 70 across the board. And then after that, I'll kind of pick and choose where the most profit is. The most profit is really, I keep my honey at every 45 minutes. I harvest that, and I get that done. And then after that, I go on to, do I want to do some silk slugs? Then I do some silk slugs. As you can see, I have been doing some silk slugs. And then after that, I've been doing a lot of mining. I almost have it 60. I need a little over 1 level. I have my stone shaping the same level, and then my metalworking. I have a lot of iron, so I just need the energy, which I have plenty of energy. I'll be using the coins from selling the honey. So we'll bring that back up here. We'll get rid of this. Okay. So we're gonna move on to why I'm not really selling anything. And the reason I'm not selling anything is because I believe when Luke fixes the system that he intends to run smoothly, I think a lot of stuff is going to skyrocket. Granted, some stuff might not, such as the mining, because everybody in the world is mining, so that might not go up. But you know what? I'm not losing anything because it's already a 1 coin. So that is why I'm saving everything. So if Luke does what he intends to run smoothly, this is how I'm picturing this, because I like thinking ahead and I like to try to get in people's minds and beat them to where I think they're going to be. So we're going to take silk fiber because I know there's a whole bunch, right? We look at the quantity on the market. We have 28 million, and this number is significantly rising. And Luke knows this. So he is going to try to find a system where he can trash a lot of this, and people just want to get rid of it because it's such a good deal that he makes, even though it's not really a super great deal, but it's better than getting 1 coin. So he's gonna end up making, I guarantee, a whole inventory full of silk. For it could be pixels, it could be a guild task, it could be something that hasn't come out yet, it could be an event, it could be something along that line. And that's where I've been the last couple days. Yes, to burn it. And that's kind of where I'm at with certain things. Like I saw wax. It has 2 million. Wax is one of those things where I think it will become more valuable once he fixes stuff, because it does have quite a bit of usage, and it does make certain decorations. And he did talk about how decorations will have a percentage to certain boosts. Now these are more high-end decorations, so I think wax will slowly increase in price. It's not going to jump up a heat ton, but I think it's going to be back to 50, 60. Maybe not in a week or two, but I think it will get there. So if I slowly stock up on wax and I end up having 60,000 wax when it goes to 50, 60 coins, then I've made quite a bit of money. I've 60 times my money because it's only a penny right now. And that's the same way I feel with a lot of items, that there are just a ton of stuff on the market. I mean, we look at this. This is going on 4.5 million, 3.5 million. Even this. I mean, this is rising, and it's constantly rising. It's staying at the price because people are constantly buying it to level up their mining and stonework. We got sap, 1.2 million. So everything is getting up there, where to the point where Luke doesn't want it to be up there. So I think for when guild tasks, certain events even, or certain burning mechanics, Luke is going to make it to where you need so much. And honestly, if it was me, I would make it so it would be a day where the market was locked. I really would. Like, no one would know, and all of a sudden the market locks and you can trade in an access of anything that you have. So people that had 1 billion of this, just stockpiling it, because again, Luke said that stockpiling is not a bad thing. He said that probably a good 3-4 months ago. So you have to piece stuff together. And from the games that I've gathered that Luke plays, he likes playing games that have puzzles, that have these certain mechanics to them that keep you guessing. So you basically have to get in the mind of Luke and think ahead. And that's where I think he's kind of coming from. So he says this is all a mistake, and it wasn't going exactly as planned, where I think only half of that is true. Where I think he kind of knew what was coming, and he had something lined up later on down the road, and he doesn't give us the full, because if we knew 100% of what was coming every single time and when it was coming, a lot of us would lose interest. We are creatures of nature that like having a certain mystery, a certain unpredictability to it. So, and I say that with all the things. This is my insight and how I'm gathering on how Luke and Heidi are kind of building this game out. They want to keep it unpredictable, yet at the same time predictable. I mean, they have done surprised things before. Granted, they give you some bit of heads up, but then usually by then it's like, oh snap, I don't have what I want. And then by the time you're racing it, you are kind of a little too late to it. So as you can see, I'm gathering my honey on the 45-minute mark. We're just going to go around. We're going to get my honey. I wanted to show you guys, basically I do this every 45 minutes from when I wake up to when I sleep. It doesn't take me super long. This is the hardest one to get into because it's the chain honey land. Other than that, the rest don't take me that long. I know a lot of people have been struggling getting into certain honey lands, apparently. This one just takes a little longer for me to get into. But I can usually do a full run in 5-6 minutes, if that. So, that's kind of my insight for this week, especially from getting a little of what Luke and Heidi talked about earlier today or last night, wherever you're from. And that's kind of my insight and 2 cents on the whole thing moving forward. Because it sounds like once they get close to fixing the task board, they're going to be trying to get into the guild task board to start burning stuff. And another thing, I'm actually going to send a long message. I haven't written it out yet, but I think one thing that could fix what has been kind of broken and maybe help the inflation issue is, so you have your specs, you have small lands, and you have big lands, right? Each has their own benefits, each has their own perks. Why not do it in a way where you burn stuff, but you keep it the same as it was? And what I mean by that is, so the industries, right? In chapter 1, every land had 4 industries, right? So in chapter 2, maybe what they should do, and I know it might not affect a lot of people, or it might not be the popular thing to do right away, but I think it would help the economy, and in the long run it would boost. I think what they should do is rework it, and basically give everyone back their industries, right? And start out, a spec can only have 2 industries on it to start off, right? A small land can have 6 industries to start off, and a large land can have 10 industries to start off. Now, when I say start off, That is exactly what I mean. I mean starting off. So then you put a price point of saying, okay, well, to add another industry, you need to spend 10,000, right? So now your large land can have, yeah, a lot of people wouldn't like it, but hear me out, okay? In chapter 1, I felt like my time meant a lot more than what it does now, where I'm just kind of going through the motions, and it doesn't feel like it does a lot compared to chapter 1, where chapter 1 I could work a 3-hour shift for 3G. So let me finish on what I'm going through, and then we'll see if you kind of agree. So then the big land would have 11 industries, right? So now the next industry, okay, and you would try to find a price point that would work out. So I think it would be either 1.5 times of what the last one was, or 2 times. So what I mean by that is now the next industry you want to add to the land, okay, is going to cost you 20,000, okay? So now you have 12 industries, and to add a 13th, you need to spend 40,000. To add a 5th, yes. Okay. So then, sorry, it was the wife. So then it would keep going up. So then you'd be paying 80,000 coins, and then 160,000 coins, and then 320,000 coins. So then it would just keep going up and up. So you would have to choose on really to utilize that industry 24/7 with the guild. Or if you were a solo landowner and you had a bunch of beehives and silk slugs, and you were making return on interest from your silo and the landowner benefit, you yourself would fork into that, where this would kind of be a guild all-in-one to increase, but at the same time you would be decreasing the coins, and the coin value would be going up, and that in turn would make the pixel value go up, because you're not going to have 1 billion coins to spend on pixels, but then at the same time you're not going to have all the industries to make all the things to turn in for the pixel task. So eventually it would just kind of wear out, and to get to where you have 150 silk slugs on one land now. I think the most you can have is 177 or something like that. You would have to spend, in return, I don't think it would even be worth it. You would have to spend like 1 billion coins to get to that state. And then, okay, hear me out, then it would make landowners, the land, if you want to sell it, it would have how many industries you can build on it, and it would increase in price because you've put so much into the land. So all in all, it would just, I think it would help everything around. I mean, so I don't know where exactly they got the decorations adding a percentage of bonus to the production. I mentioned that like a month and a half ago on one of my things, and I don't know if they got around for me or someone else, but I'm glad they're doing it, because it's going to bring decorations back into it, so people want to start. Yeah, I mean, or you could rent the land, and people would make more from renting a land because it would have more industries. I think if they went that route, it would be way better for the economy and way better for a lot of the landowners, because let's just face it. Landowners are kind of pissed off because you don't need more than 1 or 2 lands right now. Where if you did it this way, you know, most lands would have maybe 30 industries, around 30 industries right now, 40, 50 max. Maybe. And that's pushing it. And that would burn a lot of coins for the ecosystem. So that is my, I went a little longer than half an hour. I tried to keep these around a half an hour, keep them short, sweet, kind of put my 2 cents into everything that I kind of want to get through. But that is kind of where I think it's heading. And then the last bit was my total input on maybe that is a route that they should look into, because I think it would be kind of cool. It would change a lot of things, and I think it would be beneficial. Again, I think a lot of people at first would be mad because all the industries were closed off. But he also did mention, and I'll end with this, Luke also did mention that, I think it was last week, that he was changing on how you were earning XP. So that could be a hint as maybe he is reducing the industries, or maybe he's going to find something else to replace XP. Maybe it's a time that you put into each item instead of a flat base for the item. I don't know. I haven't really put too much thought into that avenue. I'm more in the profit avenue, to where I think he's going for the profit margin, to kind of keep my coins overriding. So when I get to the metalworking and stuff, I have 1 billion coins to spend. But do you guys have any questions, any thoughts before I log off and head off for the night? Like I said, after this, I will share the honey route. These are all the lands with 4 or 8 beehives. And then I will also put the 2 slug lands that I use as well. Okay. So I think with that being said, I'm going to sign off for the night. I know the wife wants to do some stuff. I've said what I needed to say, and hopefully got something out of it. Benefited from even one piece of advice. I am, unlike a lot of people, I think knowledge is power, more than anything. So this is Inject Venom, and I am signing off. Have a good night.